My name is Leander Thomason, and I'll be talking about Jewish religion and Jewish divorce and marriage. So I'm going to begin with Orthodox Judaism and their marriage. According to some sites, Jewish divorce rates are 9% higher. This was a recent study in 2017. Typically, the Orthodox Jewish divorce rates are on the rise recently, and some of the reasons that have been noted are changes in society values, desires without the culture, and desire for gratification, and sometimes it's just disconnected from the world. Jewish women are at a disadvantage when it comes to divorces. If they want to divorce their husbands, they have to have their permission, most likely in the Orthodox community. It's unlike other marriages where you can just get an external body and get a lawyer and say, all right, I'm ready for divorce. This is not working out. Me and my husband are not getting along. If the husband refuses the wife's terms, however, she is forced to stay in the marriage. So if the woman receives a get, which is a legal binding document in the Jewish community, she can have that signed for her husband, and she can get out of the marriage that way. Not all Orthodox Jews are like this. Some people may say, okay, I understand you're unhappy. I want you to leave. I want you to find something else, or I'm unhappy. But if the husband doesn't feel the same way as the wife, he can just leave. So in the past, men were able to leave their wives just whenever they wanted. An example I thought was kind of neat was they could leave their wives if they got a physical deformity. I found this and I thought it was very strange. Women, on the other hand, they could not leave their husband if they gained a physical deformity and they didn't want to be with their husband anymore. So I thought it was a little ironic that if the husband didn't find the woman attractive anymore, he could just leave. So this is an example of the past and how women were treated very poorly. Their input was not really valued whatsoever. Women were also traded for like goats, ox, jewelry, other goods and wools and things like that from the parents. So if the parents needed something and then somebody wanted to marry their daughter, they could say, oh, here is an oxen and a goat and some wool. And in exchange, I want to marry your daughter. So the daughter had no say in this. So she didn't really have a chance to be like, I don't want to marry him. He's way too old. Some women were even married as young girls before they even started like a menstrual cycle, which is very sad. But this was a way that they were presented as a present, as a gift exchange. And I didn't like that because it puts women almost in the category of livestock, which they were being traded basically, and it's just dehumanizing to anyone. But, however, thankfully today, there is little livestock trading for a wife, which is good. However, some women, especially in the Orthodox Judaism, still have little freedom after they are wed. The husband is still considered the main provider of the household, and everything the wife does or earns goes straight to him. So anything she makes, from cooking to cleaning to anything, it all goes to him, all the earnings. So he's kind of the one in charge of all of that. Unfortunately, though, there are still some people who do go by the Orthodox Judaism and is like, hey, divorce is wrong. We're not getting divorced. I don't really care if you're unhappy. We're not going to do that. So that does still happen today, but not as much. And then more Reform Judaism, as we have talked about, it just changes the whole world. It adapts to new cultures and ways of living, and in the world's eyes, especially in Reform Judaism, divorce is now not considered so taboo as it was in the past. It's even almost a normal event recently. People get divorces every day, unfortunately. Reform Judaism understands that it understands this, and they accept divorce in the Jewish community. However, they do wish the couple to meet with their synagogue's clergy before they decide to call it quits. They just want to say, hey, I want you to talk about this. Is there any way we can prevent this? So if they can also get another opinion from a therapist if they don't want to get religion involved. They can also get a religious divorce, or they can get a non-religious divorce. So they can just go through normal lawyers and just say, hey, we want a divorce, it's not working. Or if they would like a religious divorce just based upon their faith, they can get a get, which is a document basically they both sign and say, okay, we don't want to be married anymore, here's our signature. The get, however, is very private. It does not tell the issue or who's to blame or the reason for a divorce. It's basically just a document saying, we are divorced, we can see other people, this marriage has ended. So that I found that kind of interesting because I didn't realize that was even a document, and I thought that was very interesting. Well, gladly though, laws in every religion are constantly changing and reforming. Divorce is difficult in any culture. It doesn't matter where, and even for children, it can be difficult. However, depending on the husband, it may depend upon the wife's right to leave. In the future, I'm just hoping that steps will be made toward the women who suffer in marriages, especially in Orthodox Judaism. I can imagine it would be hard to keep the faith when you are stuck in maybe an abusive marriage or of some form like that. And when it comes to children with the divorce, gladly, I've found that not a lot of children are affected. They are affected, though, sadly, if women are forced to stay in marriages, and if it's an abusive marriage, the children may see that. They may get abused. It may just be they hear the parents fighting, arguing. So that's the only issue with that. But otherwise, especially if they separate, the children are usually just, the parents come together during, bar mitzvahs, they go to college, graduations, so they just function like a normal family. And hopefully in the future there are more women's rights in the Jewish community. But I really enjoyed this class, and I found it very interesting. I found out lots of things. I really enjoyed to see the get. I got to see an actual document of that, and I found that extremely interesting. So I think it's very interesting as well that Jewish divorces are actually getting more and more accepted. So in a way, it's not a good thing, I guess, to get a divorce, but I'm glad that women are getting out of situations, or even men, that they don't want to be in.